Understanding serverless API gateways in Node.js, a comprehensive introduction. In the rapidly evolving landscape of cloud computing and modern application development, the concept of serverless architecture has emerged as a transformative paradigm that fundamentally changes how developers build, deploy, and scale applications. At the heart of many serverless applications lies a critical component, the API gateway. When combined with Node.js, one of the most popular JavaScript runtime environments, serverless API gateways create a powerful foundation for building scalable, efficient, and cost-effective web services. Defining serverless API gateways. To understand serverless API gateways, we must first deconstruct the two components of this concept, the API gateway itself and the serverless computing model. An API gateway is a server that acts as an intermediary between clients such as web browsers, mobile applications, or other services, and back-end services. It serves as a single entry point for all client requests, routing them to the appropriate back-end service, transforming requests and responses as needed, and handling cross-cutting concerns such as authentication, rate limiting, caching, and logging. Think of it as a sophisticated traffic controller that manages all incoming and outgoing communication for your application's various services. The serverless aspect refers to a cloud computing execution model where the cloud provider dynamically manages the allocation and provisioning of servers. Despite its name, serverless doesn't mean there are no servers involved. Rather, it means developers don't need to think about servers, manage them, or provision infrastructure. The cloud provider handles all server management, scaling, and maintenance automatically. Developers simply write their code, deploy it, and the infrastructure scales up or down automatically based on demand. When we combine these concepts in the context of Node.js, a serverless API gateway becomes a managed service that routes HTTP requests to serverless Node.js functions without requiring developers to manage any underlying infrastructure. Popular implementations include AWS API Gateway with Lambda functions, Azure API Management with Azure Functions, Google Cloud API Gateway with Cloud Functions, and framework-based solutions like the Serverless Framework or AWS Serverless Application Model. Why serverless API gateways matter? The importance of serverless API gateways in Node.js extends across multiple dimensions, from cost efficiency to developer productivity to business agility. Understanding these benefits helps explain why this architectural pattern has gained such widespread adoption. Cost efficiency and resource optimization. Traditional server-based architectures require provisioning capacity for peak load, meaning organizations pay for resources that sit idle during periods of low traffic. A company might provision servers capable of handling 2,000 concurrent users even if they typically serve only 1,000, just to handle occasional traffic spikes. This results in substantial wasted resources and unnecessary costs. Serverless API gateways fundamentally change this economic model. With pay-per-execution pricing, organizations only pay for the actual compute time consumed by their functions measured in milliseconds. If the API receives 0 requests, you pay 0 or minimal cost. During traffic spikes, the infrastructure automatically scales to handle the increased load, and you pay proportionally for that increased usage. This model dramatically reduces costs for applications with variable or unpredictable traffic patterns, making it economically feasible to run services that might have been prohibitively expensive under traditional architectures. For startups and small businesses, this is particularly transformative. They can build and deploy production-grade APIs with significant upfront infrastructure investment. As the business grows and traffic increases, costs scale proportionally but remain directly tied to value created, requests processed, rather than fixed infrastructure costs. This alignment of cost with actual usage represents a fundamental improvement in cloud economics. Automatic scaling and high availability. Scaling traditional applications typically requires careful planning, monitoring, and often manual intervention. Developers must configure auto-scaling policies, determine appropriate thresholds, and ensure the application can handle the scaling process gracefully. Even with auto-scaling configured, there's also a delay between detecting increased load and bringing new capacity online. Serverless API gateways eliminate these concerns entirely. The cloud provider's infrastructure automatically handles scaling, spawning new function instances as needed to handle incoming requests. The scaling is nearly instantaneous and can handle extreme traffic variations. An API that typically receives 10 requests per second can automatically scale to handle 10,000 requests per second without any configuration changes or manual intervention. This automatic scaling extends in both directions, scaling up during high traffic and scaling down to zero if necessary during low traffic. The managed nature of these services also provides inherent high availability. Cloud providers run these services across multiple availability zones and employ sophisticated load balancing and failover mechanisms. This level of reliability would be complex and expensive to implement in a traditional architecture, but comes standard with serverless API gateways. In conclusion, serverless API gateways in Node.js represent a significant evolution in how we build and deploy web services. By abstracting away infrastructure management, enabling automatic scaling, aligning costs with usage, and allowing developers to focus on business logic, they address many of the challenges that have historically plagued application development and operations. The combination of API gateway services like Node.js serverless functions creates a powerful and flexible architecture suitable for a wide range of applications, from simple APIs serving mobile applications to complex microservices architecture powering enterprise systems. The Node.js ecosystem's richness, combined with the operational simplicity of serverless platforms, enables developers to build sophisticated services more quickly and reliably than ever before. As cloud platforms continue to mature and address current limitations, serverless architecture will likely become more prevalent. The economic and operational benefits are too significant to ignore, and the developer experience improvements translate directly into business value through faster development cycles and reduced operational overhead. For organizations evaluating their infrastructure strategies, serverless API gateways for organizations evaluating their infrastructure strategies, serverless API gateways with Node.js deserve serious consideration. They won't be the right choice for every application or every component, but for many use cases, they offer a compelling combination of performance, scalability, cost effectiveness, and developer productivity that's difficult to match with traditional architecture. As we move forward, understanding and leveraging these technologies will become an increasingly important skill for developers and a critical competitive advantage for business seeking to innovate rapidly in an ever-changing digital landscape.